Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another of my reaction videos. So today I'm going to be reacting to the new episode of Death Battle which just came out, which is Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog versus Ryuko Matoi from Kill la Kill. I am dressed for the occasion. I'm wearing red and black. It's technically a Spider-Man shirt, but I don't care. This was the closest thing I could find. But yeah, no, I'm actually fairly excited for this one. When I made my prediction video for this fight like 2 weeks ago, I wasn't that excited just because I would have preferred if Ryuko fought someone else. Shadow was not my first choice for her to fight because she was one of the teased combatants at the end of Hulk vs. Broly. But still, I'm actually getting more excited for it now. I'm actually getting a little more hyped, which is really cool. And plus, it's an episode of Death Battle, so I'm going to be looking forward to it anyway. And yeah, I'm really excited to get into this. I'm excited to learn more about Kill la Kill and Ryuko because I'm definitely much more familiar with Shadow and just the whole Sonic franchise in general. So I'm rooting for Shadow. I would like to see Shadow win. But still, I'm looking forward to seeing what Ryuko has in store and everything like that. I think it'd be really cool. In general, though, I also do think that Shadow is going to win. Just based on what I know and based on what everybody has been saying, it seems that Shadow is just more powerful, is faster, is more durable. He just like has all of the physical advantages and then some. And when it comes to the super forms, Super Shadow is just overkill. It's just way more powerful than anything Ryuko has in terms of super forms or in terms of really anything else. That's what I'm thinking right now, at least. Of course, Death Battle could prove me wrong in certain areas. I do ultimately think, though, that Shadow is going to win. I'd be surprised if Ryuko did win. But again, I don't know too much about Ryuko, so maybe I'm missing something big. Either way, I'm really looking forward to learning more about Ryuko and Shadow. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now this is the Death Battle game, which I would like to pick up at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm just gonna let this play, because I think it's pretty cool. They're so into it, I love it. Yeah, the card and dice game. Without out of the way, let's get into it. Shadow versus Ryuko.
Shadow the Hedgehog, powerhouse of chaos and rival.
So they are starting just with the characters now. I don't mind that, actually.
From Kill la Kill. They both may be try-hard incarnates, but when the chips are down, who is the deadliest edgelord of them all? He's Wiz
Edginess.
Boomstick.
Edginess
and
everywhere.
It's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Animation looks pretty cool already.
Dr. Gerald Robotnik, grandfather to the Dr. Eggman we all know, had a problem. His granddaughter, Maria, was dying.
We've been over this 2 times already, but it's important to go over it again.
But old Jerry had a plan. When the government contacted him to build the ultimate life form, he figured its DNA could cure Maria no problem. So he took the job, and by studying the infinite power of Chaos Emeralds, with some alien assistance, he made the one and only Shadow the Hedgehog.
Any good science experiment needs that.
Wait, did the government commission him, or was it Hot Topic? Better question, since when were hedgehogs ultimate disease-curing life forms? I mean,
they always have been.
Was a lizard, which sort of makes sense, as certain reptiles have regenerative tissue.
Favorite anime, Kill la Kill.
To a hedgehog. Okay?
Yeah, just go with it.
Lizard, hedgehog, squirrel, or whatever, Wiz. All that matters is he's super badass looking, super badass sounding, and is super powered by chaos. Literally.
Yeah.
Shadow's powers are directly tied to those of the Miracle Gems.
It's weird to go back from like Archie Sonic to regular Sonic. Because I believe they're using regular Sonic for this, right?
For this very reason, he actually possesses many of the same abilities as Sonic.
Yep.
You know, the guy who's so fast he can almost outrun a black hole? Spin attacks, homing attacks, spin dashes, etc. But unlike his blue buddy, Shadow's not afraid to get serious and bust out some lead. Hey Sonic, why use a spin attack when you've got a goddamn gun or a sword?
Probably because it's slower.
Look at that thing. He's used some of the same power-ups that Sonic's picked up, like heat barriers and magnetic lightning shields. But he also has some unique gear all of his own.
Like his air shoes,
are way cooler than Sonic's sneakers. They can boost his speed to match Sonic's and also
maybe in practice.
Kind of. He's even got some gear attached that lets him attack at the speed of light. However,
okay, good. They are giving him light speed.
Mere accessories to Shadow's true power, the might of chaos itself. Even without an emerald on hand, Shadow can summon similar power, manifesting attacks like Black Tornado, Chaos Blast, or the deadly Chaos Spear. But even though they totally asked for
I wonder how many of those attacks are actually faster than he is, though. Because he's just so fast.
Things went bad. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
Shadow
What a
was
dick.
successfully sealed away, but in the crossfire, a life was lost. Maria. Locked up and super pissed off, Shadow had plenty of time to work on his angsty poetry, and Jerry had time to give him fake memories and a need for revenge against all humanity. Wiz, you think we're ever gonna find a scientist who
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
interested
go
to see
totally
how
bonkers?
similar
I
this
mean,
lines up with
what
Kill
about
a
me?
Kill.
Okay. Well, since Maria was Shadow's only real friend, revenge seemed like a good idea, which was a serious problem considering just how powerful he is.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Slow down or even stop time, and even time traveled a bit. And just like any teenage boy, he's got some serious mood swings he doesn't like to talk about, which
Right.
can actually affect his ability.
I'm not a teenager anymore, I just turned 20, so I wouldn't know about that.
With positive emotion, he gains more control. But when it comes down to it, the government may have been right to worry. Shadow possesses so much power, even he can't always control it. Chaos powers are crazy. Sonic once used all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds to literally rebuild the Earth. This is why Shadow wears inhibitor rings, which limit how much chaos energy he can release at once. When he does remove them, what he loses in control is made up for by a massive increase in power, enough to match that of a whole Chaos Emerald.
Right, that's pretty crazy.
What are you looking at? Is that, do you have a ring on your robot arm? It was, gift? Cool. Now good luck with that. All the rings I've given out to people always get sent back eventually.
Damn it.
Anyway, Spikey had so powerful.
Is this just going
he
back to
teleported
Wiz
an
being
entire
married?
Space colony, and even a giant asteroid. Plus, he's held back this huge space plant monster. And of course,
Yeah, they talked about that in
tapping
YouTube
into the
versus
power
Shadow a
of
bit.
additional Chaos Emeralds increases his power to unbelievable heights. By doing a tango with all 7, he can turn into Super Shadow. Now, without power rings, this form can't stick around for more than a full minute.
Right.
But while he's golden, he's got super enhanced abilities, is basically invulnerable, and he can fly. Base Shadow's not only survived being shot out of a cannon, but he's just as tough as Sonic, who survived the space station Death Egg exploding right in front of him. Most impressively, as Super Shadow, he and Supersonic were fired into planet Aquarius, obliterating it. This would take over a whole exaton of TNT.
A whole
So
exaton.
you explain. All this happened because
Yeah, it would
after
take a
50
lot.
years of Shadow being trapped, Eggman himself released him to conquer the world. Sonic and crew had to stop him from destroying all mankind, but really, he's so fast he'd wreck anyone's shit before they'd notice. Shadow has dodged gunfire and destroyed enemies without being seen, but his light speed attacks are stated as being exactly that. Light speed.
Yeah.
Almost 3 million meters per second. So Shadow's super strong and super fast. Makes sense he's a formidable enemy to just about anyone. Lucky for our heroes, they inspired Shadow.
Well, I mean, he's
to
lost
regain
twice
his
on Death
memories
Battle,
of
so
Maria, who
maybe don't say
actually
that.
wanted to protect humanity instead of, you know, destroy it. He may have softened up, but he'll always be the edgy hedgehog we love to hate to love. Understood. Initiating the mission now.
So they weren't entirely specific on, like, maximum power output and durability, but I get the gist of what they're going for.
Fibers crashed to Earth. These parasites attached themselves to the most intelligent species they could find. Humans. And they
Makes
even got
sense.
humans to make them into clothes so it was easier for them to live on us. And provide viewers with gratuitous fan service.
In a way, that also makes sense. Not the gratuitous part,
Anyway,
but you know what I
light
mean.
fibers helped humans evolve more quickly and soon just passively survived as humanity developed. But some weren't content with such passivity, like Ragyo Kirui, who had access to the original primordial life fiber that landed on Earth so long ago.
Okay.
And humans are gonna human, so
I'm
she
with
and
you
her
so
husband
far,
experimented
but this
on
is
that
also
sucker
new to
like
me.
Nobody's business. They attempted to infuse fibers into both of their daughters. Their first daughter was too old for the experiment to be a success, and it appeared that their infant second daughter was also a failure, so Ragyo just threw her away.
Oh my god, are you kidding?
Threw away her baby? Kinda reminds me of how my dad just threw away our relationship.
Can we cool it with the dad jokes, though?
Fortunately for this child, her father couldn't stand by Ragyo's decision and rescued her, assuming the name Ishin Matoi, and raised this daughter himself. This is Ryuko.
Okay, makes sense. You had to go over all of that.
But it wasn't a picnic at the Matoi household. Ryuko and Ishin didn't always get along, so he shipped her off to boarding school to find other people there instead of him. When she finally came home, she found dear old dad bleeding out, impaled by a weird-looking sword.
Oh, yikes.
This was the first half of what would become her signature weapon, the scissor blade.
Scissor blade, yes, I do know about
In Ishin's
that.
last moments, he urged Ryuko to find whoever wielded the other half of the weapon, the one who killed him. Ryuko might not have known it,
Well, I
but
guess
the
that makes
scissor blades
sense.
were created by her father out of life fibers.
They're actually one of the only weapons that can cut and destroy life fibers, which is important when your opponents are all using, you know, life fibers.
Well, not
I would
Shadow,
say
though,
we
so...
take a shot every time we say life fiber,
How
but
effective is that
you
going to be?
definitely die, Wiz. And do not try that at home. Anyway, with the quest of revenge and half a scissor blade, she started
Don't
hunting
drink and
down her
watch Death
father's
Battle.
killer. But she couldn't do it by herself. So she found a skimpy sailor suit to help her out.
Yeah.
Here's that fan service thing I was telling you about.
Yeah, I got that.
Senkets, a living suit made from life fibers, also known as a kamui. Now,
Senkets.
there's plenty of clothing out there made with some life fiber, but a kamui like Senkets is unique in that it's made of 100% life fiber.
I see.
And yes, I said living suit.
Wait, Ryuko! These assassins can't hear me!
I know he has a voice actor in this animation too, which I'm really excited to see.
Not just anyone can wear Senkets, as they have to successfully bond with him for the process to work.
Yeah.
Lucky for Ryuko, she absolutely could, in no small part thanks to the life fibers infused within her body when she was an infant.
See, Mom, you trash
I still
person,
wanted
it
to
did
see her
work.
fight
And
Krona
when
last
Shans and
season.
Cats learned how to work together,
Personally, I thought that
there
was a
wasn't
fine
much that could
fight.
stand in their way.
Or a fine
He's
idea.
more than just a sailor outfit.
As a life fiber construct, Senkets can absorb other life fibers to increase his own power, allowing him to transform to gain new abilities.
Everything is
His
just tied to
Senjin
life
form makes him
fibers, though.
super spiky, and his Shifu form turns Ryuko into a badass fighting rocket.
He's also able to combine both the Senjin and Shifu forms for more versatility. Admittedly, though, each of these transformations comes at a cost for Ryuko as they're fueled by Senkets consuming her blood. This is most dangerous in his Berserker form that occurs when Ryuko gets too upset and Senkets loses control. If not stopped in time,
I was not
she
expecting
could die
that.
from too much blood loss.
But most impressive is when Ryuko straight
So
up
that's not
goes
the best
flying
stamina in
Super
the world,
Saiyan and
actually.
Senkets turns into his Kisaragi form. It's way more powerful and uses even more of her blood. What's the deal? Is Senkets a vampire?
Well, a popular theory suggests that it's all a metaphor for puberty. Senkets pulling out Ryuko's blood is symbolic of menstruation, and the skimpier outfits visualize acceptance of sexuality and adulthood, except she's a teenager
Yeah.
who already went through puberty.
Wiz, do you have a daughter?
No.
I thought so. At least having life fiber DNA means she has crazy abilities on top of Senkets' transformations, like insane super fast healing.
Right.
Basically, life fibers restore themselves so quickly that Ryuko's body starts regenerating before a blade has finished cutting through her. Unless someone is quick enough to cut through her body before this regeneration begins, she can survive almost anything.
She's been stabbed and sliced.
Well, I'm pretty sure
tons of
Shadow's
times,
gonna be able to
including
do that.
completely in half, and even had her heart ripped out of her chest. Can we get this chick as the next guest character?
I find it hard to believe
I mean,
that they would
you're
say,
taking
oh,
basically anybody
Ryuko's
these
healing
days,
would just
so-
win her the
Her
fight, you
strength
know?
is incredible. At one point, she had to blast a hole through a layer of life fibers surrounding the entire planet. Life fibers are stated to be harder than solid steel, so to pull this
Okay.
off, she must have struck with a force equivalent to over 650 exatons of TNT.
Whoa.
Which means she'd be able to take a hit that strong too. But with all these powers and more, Ryuko finally found her father's killer.
And completed
Well, that's a
the
higher
riveting
number than they gave
scissors.
Shadow.
These swords can casually cut through skyscrapers and have some super forms of their own. Decapitation mode extends the blades for better slicing and dicing, while alumni mode makes them so gigantic they eclipse the freaking Earth. What is this show?
Next to Ryuko, one scissor blade is normally about 2.5 feet long.
Okay.
Scaling up, the alumni mode appears to be about 1,017 times larger,
Wow.
weighing well over 3 million tons. If you have a pair of normal scissors at home, imagine lifting 50 billion of those all at once. That's what this is like.
I don't have to
She can
imagine, I've done
slice
that.
through 200
For sure.
tennis balls 5 times each in less than a second, which us in the scientifically community call fast as f***.
Yeah.
Or 8,000 times faster than sound. And she rocketed into the atmosphere in less than 18 seconds, which means her flying speed can reach Mach 500.
Wait.
Yeah, I saw that in the sidebar.
Why is everyone naked?
Ryuko may not have
Just
had
don't-
the easiest
don't worry
upbringing,
about
but
it.
after dedicating herself to revenge for so long, and yet saving the entire planet, she had become something unexpected. A hero.
Let's go! I'm gonna slice your ass in half!
It does kind of look kind of awesome.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, Shadow and Ryuko are always ready to perform, and make sure you are with Blue Chew.
Oh, I really wanted it to be sponsored by Hot Topic. Okay, I'm gonna skip through this a bit.
forms of ED. And
I don't want
And
to go too
strength.
far.
And once you're approved, you'll and we've got a special deal for you.
But right now,
Dang, it's a long ad.
it's
Time for a death battle! Pause. Okay, so this is a bit interesting because, again, like, I'm predicting who is going to win this episode of Death Battle again. So it's more about what Death Battle says rather than how I personally feel. Because, again, you know, they might say stuff that I disagree with. But, you know, again, I'm still predicting this episode specifically. So I really have to go off of what they say in order to do that. And it's now become more interesting because it looks like Shadow is definitely faster. Like, they even seem like they tried to hide the speed gap by saying, like, oh, the speed of light is this many, like, did they say meters per second or something like that? They used a different unit than Mach or miles per hour. I think they did that specifically to hide just how big the speed difference is in case you don't really know the conversions that well. For me, who knows the conversions, I already, like, know that that's a lot slower, that Ryuko is a lot slower. Like, what did they say, like, 7,000... Was it Mach 7,000 or 7,000 miles per hour? I didn't catch it. I know they said the flight speed was over Mach 500. Regardless, though, even like if it was Mach 7,000 or something, or Mach 8,000 or whatever, the speed of light, you know, is over Mach 800,000. So, you know, that's a pretty big difference right there. And, you know, in terms of just strength and durability, like, they gave a much bigger number for Ryuko than they did for Shadow. However, based on what, like, the calculations I've seen for Shadow before, like, I'm pretty damn sure that is not Shadow's, you know, maximum strength and durability. Just, like, what, over an exaton of TNT? A whole exaton, as they say? Whereas, like they said, Ryuko was in, like, the hundreds of exatons. But I want to say that Shadow is a lot faster than Ryuko. Sorry about the lighting. And I want to say that, you know, he's more versatile as well. But, yeah... I feel like he has more versatility. The light fibers, like, it wouldn't be as effective against someone like Shadow. And of course, they could just be, you know, waiting to give out, like, another feat with more calculations for Shadow that actually puts him at a higher level in terms of strength and durability. So, my guess is that they're gonna end up giving it to Shadow anyway, but I'm not sure, because if they really, like, just leave those numbers at that, like, the power and durability numbers that they gave for Ryuko versus Shadow, versus the numbers they gave for Shadow, then, you know, it might be tough for Shadow to be able to get around that. Then again, they could pull a Sanji versus Lee and just say the speed is enough, which honestly, in this case, may honestly be true. So, you know, who knows? Either way, I'm still going for Shadow. I think he's gonna win, but if Ryuko does win, I might not agree. They would have to give a really good explanation for it, but, you know, I will understand. You know, I anticipate a little bit that they might end up going for Ryuko, but I think they're gonna give it to Shadow. Let's go. And I'm still rooting for Shadow. There's Ryuko, and there's Shadow. Who's edgier?
Hey, you cut me off, asshat!
It seems like that's what they're trying to prove to each other.
Ryuko, maybe we should...
Oh, yeah?
Okay, right into it. Oh boy, okay. They're showing all of that. Honestly, for edgelords like this, fighting because they're just pissed off at each other for, like, riding next to each other, that actually makes a lot of sense, so I'm fine with that. This is interesting. Like, we haven't really seen a Sonic character in this kind of, like, terrain before. This is pretty cool. I can tell they put a lot of work into this.
Chaos control!
Yeah. Stopping time, too, gives an even better speed advantage. Ooh.
He's anticipating you. You should anticipate him instead.
But are you fast enough? The hand-drawn animations are good, too. Ooh. There you go.
Let's get faster.
I say, if Shadow does lose again, people are gonna be pissed as hell. Again, the gun is not gonna be as powerful as you, or as fast. And there's his sword. Nice how they included that in the animation.
Careful, that hurts.
I'm a little faint.
Of course they're gonna show her regenerating, and whoa, that looked cool.
Time to end this.
Super Shadow, here we go. So they both transformed at the same time. Usually it's an indicator of like who transforms first loses, but they basically transformed right at the same time. But now it's using up more of her blood. Come on, Shadow, you got this. Nice! That looked awesome. Oh! When they show shots of the planet, you know something bad's gonna happen.
Sayonara, dipshit!
Sayonara! She said sayonara!
Shut up!
Oh no!
Chaos Blast.
Oh, that's it. That's gotta be it. Done. Oh my god. I was expecting Shadow to say sayonara. But I love how she said it and he just won anyway.
You know, we made fun of how little clothing Ryuko was wearing, but
That was-
Shadow's been naked the whole time.
Armed with Senket's, her
That was
scissor
nice.
blades, and her life fiber buffs, Ryuko was definitely a match for Shadow at first.
Yeah, with her awesome strength combined with her insane endurance, Face Form Shadow was in a lot of trouble. But even then, it wasn't a surefire win for the Rocket Chick.
Outside of his super form, Shadow never withstood anything on the scale of Ryuko's hole in the life fibers surrounding Earth. At her maximum power, she could have easily
I
dealt
think that's a
killing
bit
blow
debatable, but
if
okay.
she could catch him. Shadow could keep up with Sonic the Hedgehog, whose race against the black hole proves he can move over 260,000 times faster than sound. Far faster than anything
Or
Ryuko
faster.
showed, and more than quick enough to slice through a life fiber before it has time to heal.
Right. And
Once
I
the
was
red
right.
and
Mach
black
7,000.
Hedgehog turned
Over
red
that.
and gold. Ryuko didn't really have a way to take him down.
Yeah.
Super Shadow's Chaos powers use all 7 Chaos Emeralds, which can move pieces of the Earth around.
Considering Earth's total mass and the speed at
So I
which
was right,
each
they
piece
were
was
gonna go
moved,
into
this
more
would require
calculations.
exerting energy equivalent to 1.6 decillion joules, which translates to over 2,800 zetatons of TNT.
That's a lot.
That's a ton of power. A lot more than Ryuko's biggest
Yeah,
hits.
I had a feeling
Even
they were gonna
one
go that way.
Chaos Emerald is enough to match Ryuko's best. And considering Shadow can match the power of an emerald when he takes off those inhibitors, he had better odds of winning even without going super.
Yeah.
Ryuko put up an amazing fight, one for the ages, but Shadow's unmatched power and speed proved too much for Our Lady in Black and Red.
Hey,
It's
he's
really as
pretty
simple
beat
as
up
that,
about it,
yeah.
too. Do you know what he said when he was asked what his favorite anime is?
I like the one with the edgy girl and the scissor blade.
Yeah.
It's canon. No, really.
In
It
clothing,
is.
the Hedgehog couldn't be overshadowed, and Ryuko's life fiber was snipped.
The winner
Nice.
is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow finally gets a win.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be jumping into the next matchup next week.
Now, I actually think I already know what the next one is.
Boxes right over there, and by
Um,
downloading the battle
And if it is what it is, then I'm not too happy about it. But let's see. Yeah. Lex Luthor versus Dr. Doom. Okay, if you guys are wondering how I knew or how I had a strong feeling this was the case, I made a video on Lex Luthor versus Dr. Doom on my channel, like, over a year ago, and that video started getting a lot more views after Shadow vs. Ryuko came out yesterday on, because it's Monday right now. I don't know when this video is going to end up coming up, but I'm filming this right now on Monday when it comes out on YouTube. And, you know, when it came out on Rooster Teeth, my Lex Luthor vs. Dr. Doom video started getting a lot more views, and there was some talk of Death Battle on there, which I couldn't really avoid. So I thought, you know, okay, yeah, so Lex vs. Doom is probably next. Since making that video, though, I have changed my mind on this fight. Not in terms of the outcome, but in terms of, like, how good of a fight I think it actually is. Especially, you know, considering Doom's other opponents that he could have fought, because, you know, they teased Doom at the end of Hulk vs. Broly, along with Ryuko and King Mickey and others. You know, I just don't think Lex vs. Doom is a great choice. You know, I think that Doom had better opponents. He didn't have he didn't have too many amazing opponents, but I would have liked to see any of them over Lex, to be honest. This fight just seems like an unnecessary Marvel vs. DC fight, one that's, like, reminiscent of other death battles that we really don't need. And I understand that they're doing this for the sake of, you know, oh, if people who don't watch Death Battle, if they're like, you know, oh, I just want to look up who wins between Lex Luthor and Dr. Doom, then there's this video for that. This episode is really for new viewers rather than old ones. But for the old viewers like me, who, you know, want, you know, fresh ideas for Death Battle, it is really annoying. Like, I personally would have wanted to see Doctor Doom versus Gilgamesh. I thought that was the best of all worlds, personally. That's just my personal opinion. But I don't know. It looks like we're not getting that. It looks like we're getting Lex Luthor versus Doctor Doom, which again, I don't know. I just don't think it was super necessary. I'll have a prediction out. It actually probably is already out because this video is going to go through copyright most likely. And you guys can check that out, and you'll see that I'll have some things to say about this one. That, you know, I don't love it for a good number of reasons. I don't know. This is just a major disappointment to me. If you know, are excited for this fight, that's perfectly fine. But personally, I just expect more from my death battle ideas. I really did not. This whole time when I was thinking who could Doom fight, I really did not want it to be Lex Luthor. And now we're just getting that. Half the opponents now, or half the combatants are now returning combatants. And I generally like seeing new characters come to Death Battle in general, so that is a little annoying. But anyway, we'll leave that for another time. Let's talk about this actual episode. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The biggest criticism I think that I would have is just I still think that they were lowballing Shadow a little bit in terms of just like the upper limits of his capabilities, both in his base form and his super form. That's just my opinion, though. I think that he is more impressive than what they said, but regardless, it still wasn't enough. Like, and I totally agree with that. Like, their reasoning ultimately, I fully agree with. You know, is just that his strength and speed is too much. You know, I do believe that Ryuko did have, you know, not some advantages, but she had ways to keep up with certain stats of Shadow's when she was in her base form. I still think that that's fair to say, or when they're both in their base forms, but Shadow still ultimately had the edge that if they were stuck in their base forms, then Shadow would more likely win. And again, when you get to super forms, it's no question that Shadow takes it. So I fully agree with all of that. It makes sense to me. The analyses were fine. You know, they gave me information. They did hold back some things for Shadow, but ultimately I understand why they did that, because, you know, otherwise it would have been really obvious. So I can't really blame them too much there. Like, that power output, like, even just that they gave for him in this episode, holy crap, that's a lot of power, you know? Just even, like, looking at the numbers, it's incredible. And, you know, and the analyses were, you know, enjoyable. They were funny in certain aspects. Just the whole references back to, like, the edgelords. Like, that one thing about Shadow had time to, like, write his edgy poetry or something. Like, they didn't need to put that in there, and yet they did. I just thought that was funny. Because, I don't know. But yeah, those jokes I thought were pretty funny. I do like how they brought up Sayonara. That's something like that, you know, that's not going to stand out too much to people that, you know, don't watch. Like, it's not going to stand out in a bad way to people who don't watch Death Battle. So it doesn't really hurt them to put it in. For the people that do watch Death Battle, it's a great thing. So I'm very happy that they did that. And yeah, so overall the analyses were, I would say they were above average. I thought they were pretty well done this time around. And the animation was very fun to watch. Like, you know, the animation, like the hand-drawn animation bits, and just, you know, the changes of scenery, you know, I thought that was really good. It just seems like they put a lot of work into this one, and I can really appreciate that. So even though this fight idea was not like my favorite to start, I have to say the execution was really, really good. Ultimately, I think I probably still preferred Yoda versus King Mickey because I have greater ties to Yoda and Star Wars and stuff like that. And the 3D fight I thought was really good. I thought, you know, Yoda versus Mickey was just really, really good. But I got to admit, I was kind of expecting this one to fall significantly below it, and it really didn't. This one was actually quite enjoyable. For the most part, I'm very satisfied. Again, the only thing I can really knock it down for is just how I think they kind of lowballed Shadow a bit, but otherwise I think it was good. It was also a little annoying, though, the lead up to this fight, because I couldn't even really look at my prediction comment section, because a lot of it was just filled of people saying, oh, let's hopefully Shadow gets the win that he finally deserves, or he should have beaten Vegeta, he should have beaten Shadow, and ultimately, and like, usually I like to reply to comments, but barely any of those comments in there I actually replied to, because I just did not want to be around that kind of energy. It kind of made me, there were times where I was not excited to see this video, because I was thinking like, okay, well, this is just going to be like, you know, not necessarily a salt fest, but people are going to be complaining whether Shadow wins or not, you know? So there is that kind of holds this episode back for me for thinking of it extremely fondly, but that's not really Death Battle's fault. When it comes to what Death Battle was doing, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. So good job, Death Battle. Season 8 is looking really good so far. Hopefully Lex Luthor versus Dr. Doom is actually like a good episode, because for the idea right now, I am unimpressed and I just wish we got something else. But anyway, that's it for me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a like, comment your comments down below, subscribe if you could too, that would be amazing. But no matter what you guys do, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Link in the description of the original video. Make sure you go support the official release. And yeah, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.